Book of Heaven, Volume 6. 4th to the 17th of September 1905. Page 95 to 99. September 4th, 1905. In all times God has had souls from whom, as much as is possible for a creature, he has received the purpose of creation, redemption and sanctification, and who have received his goods. Continuing in my usual state, my adorable Jesus made me see his most sacred humanity, all of his wounds, his pains, and from within his wounds, even from the drops of his blood, many branches loaded with fruits and flowers came out, and it seemed that he communicated his sufferings to me, as well as all his branches loaded with flowers and fruits. I remained surprised on seeing the goodness of our Lord in sharing all his goods with me, without excluding me from anything of all that he contained. And blessed Jesus told me, "My beloved daughter, do not be surprised at what you see, for you are not alone, nor the only one. In fact, in all times I have had souls from whom, as much as is possible for a creature, perfectly in some way, I might receive the purpose of my creation, redemption and sanctification, and the creature might receive all the goods for which I created, redeemed and sanctified man. Otherwise, if I did not have even one single creature in each time, my whole work would be frustrated, at least for some time. This is the order of my providence, of my justice and of my love, that in each time I must have at least one with whom I might share all goods, and that the creature must give me everything she owes me as creature. Otherwise, why maintain the world? In one moment I would shatter it. This is precisely why I choose victim souls. Just as divine justice found in me everything it should find in all creatures, and shared with me, altogether, the goods it would have shared with all creatures, in such a way that my humanity contained everything, so do I find everything in the victims, and I share all my goods with them. During the time of my passion I had my dearest mother who, while I shared all my pains and all my goods with her, was most attentive as creature, on gathering within herself everything that creatures were to do for me. Therefore in her I found all my satisfaction and all the gratitude, the thanksgiving, the praise, the reparation, the correspondence which I was to find in everyone else. Then came Magdalene, John, and so on, in all the times of the Church. And so that these souls might be more pleasing to me and I might feel drawn to give them everything, first I anticipate them, and then I ennoble their souls, bodies, traits, and even their voices. In such a way that one single word has so much strength, it is so gracious, sweet, penetrating, that it moves my whole being to compassion and tenderness, it changes me, and I say, "Ah! This is the voice of my beloved, I cannot do without listening to her. It would be as though wanting to deny what she wants to my very self. If I am not to listen to her, I should take the will to speak away from her, but as for sending her back empty-handed, never." So, there is such electricity of union between me and her, that the soul herself cannot comprehend everything in this life, though she will comprehend it with all clarity in the next. September 6, 1905. The evil of lack of attention. This morning, after I struggled very much, I saw our Lord crucified. I was kissing the wounds of his hands, and repairing and praying that he would sanctify, perfect, purify all human works for the sake of what he suffered in his most holy hands, and blessed Jesus told me, "My daughter, the works which most exacerbate my hands, and which most embitter and enlarge my wounds, are the good works done without attention." In fact, lack of attention takes life away from the good work, and things which have no life are always near to rotting. Therefore they nauseate me, and for the human eye a good work done without attention is a greater scandal than sin itself. In fact, it is known that sin is darkness, and it is no wonder that darkness gives no life. But the good work which is light and gives darkness offends the human eye so much, that it is no longer able to find light, and therefore it finds an obstacle on the path of good. September 8, 1905. True charity is to do good to one's neighbor because he is an image of God. As I was in my usual state, blessed Jesus came for just a little and told me, "My daughter, true charity is when, in doing good to his neighbor, one does it because he is my image. All the charity that goes out of this sphere cannot be called charity. If the soul wants the merit of charity, she must never go out of this sphere of looking at my image in everything. It is so true that true charity consists in this, that my very charity never goes out of this sphere. I only love the creature because she is my image. And if by sin she deforms this image of mine, I no longer feel like loving her. On the contrary, I abhor her, and I only preserve plants and animals because they serve my images. And the creature must modify all of herself on the example of her creator. September 17, 1905. How one can participate in the sorrows of the Queen Mama. Having been in much suffering because of the privation of my most sweet Jesus, this morning, the day of the sorrows of Mary Most Holy, after I struggled in some way, he came and told me, "My daughter, what do you want, that you so much yearn for me?" And I, "Lord, what you have for yourself, that is what I yearn for myself." And he, "My daughter, for myself I have thorns, nails and cross." And I, "Well then, that is what I want for myself." So he gave me his crown of thorns and shared with me the pains of the cross. Then he added, "Everyone can share in the merits and in the goods produced by the sorrows of my mother. One who, in advance, places herself in the hands of Providence, offering herself to suffer any kind of pains, miseries, illnesses, calumnies, and everything which the Lord will dispose upon her, comes to participate in the first sorrow of the prophecy of Simeon. One who actually finds herself amid sufferings, and is resigned, clings more tightly to me and does not offend me. It is as if she were saving me from the hands of Herod, keeping me safe and sound within the Egypt of her heart, and she participates in the second sorrow. One who feels downhearted, dry and deprived of my presence, and remains yet firm and faithful to her usual practices. Even more, she takes the opportunity to love me and to search for me more, without tiring, comes to participate in the merits and goods which my mother acquired when I was lost. One who, in any circumstance she encounters, especially in seeing me gravely offended, despised, trampled upon, tries to repair me, to compassionate me, and to pray for the very ones who offend me. It is as if I encountered in that soul my own mother who, if she could have done it, would have freed me from my enemies. And she participates in the fourth sorrow. One who crucifies her senses for love of my crucifixion, and tries to copy the virtues of my crucifixion within herself, participates in the fifth one. One who is in a continuous attitude of adoring, of kissing my wounds, of repairing, of thanking, etc., in the name of all mankind. It is as if she were holding me in her arms, just as my mother held me when I was deposed from the cross, and she participates in the sixth sorrow. One who remains in my grace and corresponds to it, giving a place to no one else but me within her heart. It is as if she buried me in the center of her heart, and she participates in the seventh one.